Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. Of course, I'm Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Babygirl. That's right, Babygirl. The movie that you didn't watch, I did. So I'm going to talk about it, okay? This movie evoked a lot of things from me. Just the trailer alone got me very angry. Now, why? Why did I have such a reaction, okay? Because I think this movie, just based on the trailer that I saw, evoked all the worst things about chick flicks that I review on this channel. Okay, I reviewed a lot of chick flicks on this channel. I'm sure some of them are your favorites. Not so much this one because this movie didn't do very well. It made a modest profit. I think it made like $14 million after marketing and all that, and production costs and all that. I think it made something like that, like $14 million. But not a lot of people went to go see this movie. Okay, and the biggest problem that I have with this movie, okay, is how it typifies the exact problem that I have with these chick flicks. Okay, these chick flicks always have the same logic. Okay, which involves absolving responsibility, absolving accountability. Okay. There's plenty of movies out there where people make mistakes, where they do things that they shouldn't do, and they feel bad about it later on, and they try to make up for it. Okay? There's nothing wrong with movies like this. Great movies like that. Some of the best movies ever made have been with that storyline. Okay? So I have no problem with a movie about a woman who cheats on her husband. I got no problem with that. I got no problem with a woman who's a boss bitch CEO, okay, who cheats on her husband with a guy who is like 30 years younger than her. I got no problem with that either. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. Okay? I do have a problem with the fact that she experiences absolutely no repercussions for her behavior. Okay? This is a woman with a lot at stake. Okay? She has a lot to lose. Okay? She risks losing her marriage, her family, her company that she built with her own hands. Okay, her position at her company, her professional reputation. Okay, I mean, she risks a lot for what ultimately is just a bunch of cheap thrills. Okay, the idea that she can have this affair and suffer no repercussions at all is the biggest problem I have with chick flicks. Okay, is that the women never face repercussions. Now, some women do. I mean, there are movies where women do face repercussions. Okay, but this movie is not one of them. Okay, and most chick flicks are not one of them. Okay, because unlike real life, okay, when women do this kind of shit, okay, they have to answer for it. Okay, maybe not completely, maybe not fully, but in some sense they do. Okay, just like men do. When men get caught in this stuff, okay, they have to answer for it as well. All right, and nobody gets a free pass. Some people can buck the system a little bit, but eventually everyone gets caught. Okay, eventually everyone gets caught. And what bothers me about this movie is not so much the affair, okay, that she has. Okay, not the fact that she's screwing another guy behind her husband's back. I mean, that's bad enough. Okay, it turns out that, her husband's going to forgive her. He ain't going to think about it anymore. Okay, she's not going to lose her company. She's not going to, be fired or outed from her position. Her kids aren't going to hate her for what she did to their dad. Okay, none of that's going to happen. Okay, she's not going to face any repercussions at all. She will be absolved. Okay. To me, the affair is the least of her atrocities. Okay, that is the least of it. Okay, here is what pisses me off. Okay, it's not the affair. Okay, it's not the fact that she cheated. It's not the fact that she abused her position. Okay, because technically this was sexual harassment. Okay, because she is the CEO and her lover is an intern. Okay. It's not the fact that she's racist. Okay, she refuses to promote her secretary because her secretary's black. The only black girl that works there, apparently. The only black person that works at her company, apparently. It's not because of that. Okay, Here's what bothers me, okay? If this was me, if I was the husband, if I was Jacob, okay, Antonio Banderas' character, yes, all that stuff would hurt. It would hurt me that my wife sucks at her job. It would hurt me that my wife, was screwing around on me. It would hurt me that she threatened our family, that she threatened our home life, okay? All that stuff, okay? But that's not what would have been the worst. All that hurts. That wouldn't have been the worst of it. The worst part about it is that even if the husband forgave her, which he did in this movie, okay, that does not excuse all the lying, the sneaking around, the bullshit statements. Okay, even when she confessed, she wasn't honest. She didn't tell him the truth. Okay, so she cannot be trusted. And just because, obviously this movie was written by a man-hating lesbian. Okay, obviously. Okay, but if a straight man had written this, that would have been factored in there. Okay, just because your husband forgives you, takes you back for your cheating, just because your kids don't have any animosity towards you for your cheating, just because the company does not get rid of you for fucking one of your underlings, just because your blackmailing secretary does not expose you for fucking her boyfriend, okay? Just because all that happens, okay, it doesn't take away the fact that she lied and she manipulated, okay? To me, that's the real thing. That's the real betrayal. Okay, the real betrayal is when she's calling her husband, telling him, hey, I have to work late, okay, because I got this big project, okay, that has to be ready tomorrow. I'm not gonna be able to come home. And she tells her husband, I love you. And yet the truth is that she's driving over to a club to go fuck her lover, okay, to go do some drugs, okay, and hang out with a bunch of fucking Zoomers, okay, and have sex in a nightclub and do drugs. Okay, to me, that's the betrayal. Okay, all the times, okay, where she would smile at her husband at their daughter's birthday party, okay, or they talk about how proud they are of their daughter for being a lesbian and how cool their lesbian, her daughter's lesbian girlfriend is, all that shit, okay, smiling it right to his face, like that. To me, that's the betrayal. Okay, where she's texting her lover at their daughter's birthday party while her husband is standing a few feet away, okay, so they can go meet in private and have a little fling while their husband's in the next room. Okay, to me, that's the betrayal. That's it right there. Okay, and to me, that doesn't just get forgiven like that. Okay, that's someone who went out of their way, okay, to hurt their spouse. You see what I mean? That's someone who, who delved into their duplicitous nature, okay, their lower urges, okay, that bad part of themselves, okay, that Mr. Hyde part of themselves, okay, that to me has not been addressed in this movie and has not been forgiven because it's not brought up. You see what I mean? Once it comes time for the consequences of her actions, it's treated like a momentary lapse. Like, oops, I fell on his cock. My bad. Okay, it was my mistake. I should have been watching where I was going, but I didn't. Sorry. Come on, anyone can make a mistake. So can you. You forgive me? Okay, fine. Everything's fine. Okay, no, that's not how it works. Okay? No. Okay, just because you've been forgiven for that does not mean that that's not a part of who you are. Okay, the real betrayal is that you were capable and willing to do that. Okay, to do that. That it did not bother you to lie to your fucking husband straight to his fucking face. It did not bother you to pose for family pictures with your kids, your Christmas pictures, okay? Like you're one big happy family when the whole time you're fucking this other guy, okay? And that you have no respect for your husband. And now that the affair is over, now all of a sudden you have respect for your husband. Now all of a sudden your husband matters to you. Now all of a sudden how he feels about you is important to you, okay? And is essential to your self-esteem. No, that's not how it works. Okay, that's not a marriage. That's not a relationship. Okay? That's a woman who's controlled by her whims. All right? And that is not being an adult. Okay? It's not. And I would say the same thing if it was a guy, if a guy was doing this. Okay? That's the part, okay, that pisses me off. Is that she got away with this, okay? Not the cheating, that she got away with the lying. Okay? Because that means you cannot be trusted. That means that when you say you're sorry, it was all my fault. Okay? Had nothing to do with you. It was just me. Okay? I kind of lost who I was for a while there. Okay? To me, that's bullshit. I can't believe you. Okay? Because you've been bullshitting me this whole time. You've lost all sort of credibility. Okay? You can't, there's nothing you can say that I'm going to believe now. You see what I mean? That's the problem. That is the problem. Okay? Is that you cannot be trusted. Fuck if you ever cheat on me again. You can't be trusted. If you tell me the fucking sky is blue, I'm going to have to go up there and double check. Okay? Because I can't trust what you say. I can't trust that you'll tell me the truth about anything, much less an affair. You see what I mean? That's the problem. Okay? That's the consequence that she never has to face. Okay? Even her kids don't fucking hold anything against her. Like, what the fuck? You know? This never gets addressed. No accountability. No accountability. Okay? That to me is the real betrayal. Is that even if you were never to cheat on me again, you know, even if you were to, you know, just stay with me for the rest of our lives, grow old together, so I can never trust what you're going to do. I can never trust what you're going to say. Because I'll never know. I'll never know. And why the fuck would I want to be married to someone that I can't trust? Okay? You have to earn trust. And if you've broken it, you're going to have to rebuild it. Okay? And you can't rebuild trust by pretending nothing ever happened. You see what I mean? You can't you can't do that. Okay? That'd be like, you know, if someone, you know, that you knew was accused of harming little kids, and they go to jail, they do their time, they register as a sex offender, they do all that kind of stuff. They get out, they paid their debt to society. It doesn't mean I'm going to let you babysit my kids now. You see what I mean? You know, there has to be consequences. There has to be consequences. Now, in the last video, I told you a story about me when I was like 13 and I got arrested for shoplifting. Okay, it was a terrible situation. I was young, I was stupid, I was stealing comic books. Okay, I got caught. If I had not gotten caught, if my mom had not grounded me for the rest of my life, I'm still grounded today. All right. If I had not been, you know, charged with, I stole $40 worth of comic books. Okay. If I hadn't gone through that humiliating experience, I might have continued stealing, you know, bigger and more, you know, more expensive things. And then eventually I would have gotten caught. But when I got caught later on, the consequences would have been a lot worse because I got away with it for so long. You see what I mean? That getting caught as a 13-year-old shoplifter taught me to not steal again. You see what I mean? I already knew it was wrong, but to do it and get away with it, and then all of a sudden you're caught, that consequence that I faced, okay, convinced me to never shoplift again. You see what I mean? And I've never shoplifted again because I had that experience. Okay? I faced a consequence for what I did. You see what I mean? It cost me something. I was punished for it. And I don't want to get punished for it again. So I quit doing it. You see? Romy faces no punishment at all. No consequence. No repercussions. She loses nothing. Therefore, there's no reason for her not to do it again. You see what I mean? Oh, don't worry, honey. I'll never do that again. How the fuck do I know? Okay, you also told me you fucking love me. You also told me you were going to work late when the whole time you were fucking this other guy. Okay. You also told me you didn't, that you didn't even know the other guy's name when it was one of your fucking employees. You also told me I didn't know who he was when yet he fucking had breakfast with us. Okay. And the whole fucking family. Okay. You also told me it was one time. No, you were fucking all over the fucking city, all over the building, in our house. Okay. In hotel rooms, and what the fuck? You see what I mean? You can't be trusted. You can't be trusted. And it's sad because, I know that most of you women, you're older, and on some level, all you women that are out there that are in like your 30s or something, mature women, 30s, 40s, 50s, okay, on some level, you understand this. Even if it's not blatantly in your face and this is wrong, this is not what you would do and all that stuff, this is not realistic, okay? Even for those of you who don't have that, somewhere deep down inside that if this were to happen in your marriage, it wouldn't go this way. Okay, you know that. A lot of you women have cheated on boyfriends before. Okay, you've cheated on husbands before, some of you. Okay, goddamn well this is not how it turned out. You know that. Men aren't going to react the way that Antonio Banderas reacts here. Okay, you know that. I would not react that way. Okay, and you know that you don't just get to walk off into the sunset like Romy does. Okay, that's not how it would happen in real life. Okay? There's no verisimilitude. This is fucking fantasy. If it's fantasy, just say it's fucking fantasy. Don't try to make it like it's happening in the real world. Okay? And that's the problem I have with chick flicks, okay? Is they tell you that this can happen to you too. Okay? Oh yeah, right. You're just some fucking female CEO, some fucking female Elon Musk who's gonna fuck your 25-year-old intern. Okay, and your husband's gonna fucking forgive you for it and shit like that, and you're never gonna lie and cheat and steal again. Get the fuck out of here. Are you crazy? You expect me to believe that shit? No. Okay, and when you think about it, her husband Jacob has a lot more to gain from divorcing Romy. Okay, she's got more money than him. That means he gets the alimony. He's on easy street. She's gonna be paying him now. Okay, and he can fuck as many 20-year-old actresses and starlets that come in and audition for him in his fucking theater plays. Okay, he'll become a better lover. He'll get a younger wife. He'll have more kids. Boom. He'll be fucking his 25-year-old wife. Okay, while fucking Romy is in fucking a nursing home. It's perfect. It's perfect. Why not? Oh yeah, sorry. A man-hating lesbian wrote this. That's why. Yeah, only the woman gets the happy ending, not the guy. All right, moving right along. Where we left off last time, Romy's daughter, Isabel, came to see her because she's been exiled to the country house out in fucking upstate New York. Okay, that's their weekend house that they have. This huge house. They got a Christmas tree in there and stuff. That's where they go on the weekends. They live in the penthouse in the city during the week when they work, right? Well, she exiled herself there because her husband kicked her out of the penthouse because she told him that she was cheating on him. All right. So she's been exiled there. Blah, blah, blah. Samuel, her lover, comes to visit her. They have sex again. This time, Jacob shows up and catches them. So now he realizes that his wife's apology was all bullshit. Okay. It was the guy that he knew. It was more than once. Okay. It was one of her employees, all this stuff that she lied to him about. Okay. They got a fist fight. Jacob gets his ass kicked because he's older and he's a pussy in this movie, not just emotionally and psychologically, but physically he's a pussy as well. He has an anxiety attack. And the lover, Samuel's one who has to comfort him. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so all that happens. Okay, so now Romy's in exile in the house by herself, okay, depressed. Now, she's not depressed that her husband almost fucking died. Okay, she's not depressed that she's been cheating on her husband and fucking him over, okay, and threatening threatening her family and all sorts of fucking shit. That she's a piece of shit CEO. That showed her assistant had to blackmail her just to give her the promotion that she promised her a long time ago. Okay, all that stuff is not what's depressing her. What's depressing her is that she can't see Samuel anymore. Okay, that's what pisses her off. Anyway, it turns out Isabel, her 18-year-old lesbian daughter, who's also a piece of shit like her mom, who's been cheating on her girlfriend as well, Mary. She's been cheating on her girlfriend, Mary, with the neighbor to this country house named Sophia. Okay, and mom knew about it. She caught them, but she gave her they gave each other a high, well, she gave her a high five for fucking around on her girlfriend. Okay, and they even smoke cigarettes together inside the house. Isn't that great? Okay, well, Isabel shows up. Okay, and the only reason Isabel's even in this fucking movie is because her dad is Ewan McGregor. Yes, her dad is Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars. Yes. Okay, that's the only reason this piece of shit little girl, I don't give a shit about her name. I'm going to call her Ewan McGregor's daughter. That's the actress that plays Isabel, okay? Nepotism at its best, okay? Ewan McGregor's daughter. And of course, she's not mad at her mom for fucking over her dad. She says, Dad, don't worry, Dad'll forgive you. You know how I know Dad'll forgive you? Because my girlfriend Mary, she found out that I was fucking around her too, and she forgave me. So if my lesbian girlfriend can forgive me, then Dad can forgive you. And I'm not mad at you either. I don't even care what you did. You know? And the reason I don't care what you did is because in real life, my fucking dad left my mom, okay, for Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the fucking chick from Scott Pilgrim. Yes, okay? My dad was fucking her behind my mom's back the whole time. And I forgave him. And he gave me acting roles like this one now. Ha, see? It works out. Yeah. Okay, so that's going on here. So that plants the seed in Romy to go talk to her husband, who apparently is basically living in the theater where he works instead of coming home. He's reading the Bible now. Ooh, can't have that. Hell no. Okay, that kind of stuff, you know. There's one thing libtards hate is Christianity. Okay, so if he's reading the Bible, then you know fucking it's DEFCON 1. All right, so Romy decides to go to the theater. I guess apparently this is the third time in their 30 fucking plus year marriage that she's actually gone to the theater to visit him at work. He said earlier in the movie, he said the first time she did it was in 1997. Okay, when she thought he was cheating on her. Okay, and then the second time she did it was, I guess, a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, when she was, you know, thinking about fucking around her husband, but maybe not sure she should do it, or maybe she should do it, whatever. But he was too busy to talk to her, so she used that as an excuse to fuck the other guy. Okay, and now here. This, okay? So he's sitting there by himself, and she goes up to him, and she basically tells him it's all my fault. That's bullshit. Okay, it is all her fault, but not all of it is, okay? It's mostly her fault, okay? If it was really all her fault, then she would be treated in this movie as if it was all her fault, and she would pay for it like it was all her fault, but that's not gonna happen here, okay? Because it's written by a fucking man-hating lesbian, okay? And even when the women are pieces of shit, they're still the heroes of the story, and they're still the ones that come out on top, all right? Now, myself thinking, okay, I just said that it's not all her fault. Some of it is Jacob's fault, okay? It is, okay? He's got to accept his own part in this, okay? He did not make her cheat on him, okay? But he is a pathetic excuse for a man, okay? But despite the fact that he's a beta male, soy boy, limp dick, despite that fact, okay, Romy knew that when she married him, and she married him anyway. You see what I mean? It's not like he was trying to hide that from her. Okay, it's not like he was trying to act like he's all alpha male when he's a beta male. No, he's always been a beta male, straight up. Male feminist, all the fucking way, women's rights, pussies are better than dicks, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he fucking puts on a goddamn vagina hat when he's fucking protesting against Trump and all that kind of shit. Okay, he's one of those. All right, so of course he deserves to be cheated on in that sense. She's not married to a real man. Okay, she's married to a fucking male feminist. Okay, these are those fucking assholes that think that if they speak like a fucking lesbian, then women are gonna find them attractive, but they actually don't. Okay, so that's what he is. Okay, but she knew that about him. She knew that, and she married him anyway. And she fucking pumped out 2 kids with him anyway. Okay, so what the fuck? I think somewhere in the marriage vows it does say you're supposed to be faithful to your spouse. Okay, so she knew that. She signed the contract. She had the ceremony. She got married. She did all that fucking shit. Okay. It's supposed to be till death do us part. I think it says that in there somewhere. Okay. So yes. Okay. So no, she's mostly responsible, but he was a piece of shit husband. Okay. And just the fact that all this happened does not change him into an alpha male, does not change his behavior. He's not the one he doesn't have to change at all. He stays a limp dick beta male soy boy throughout the entire movie. Okay. Despite the fact that an alpha big cock was fucking his wife, that's not going to make him want to be that either. Okay. He's going to hold on to being a fucking limp dick soy boy beta male cuck. Okay, that's his place in the world. All right, and by doing that, Halana Rain that's the writer and director of this movie, the ugly fucking failed actress lesbian. Okay, she wants Romy to avoid 2 things: accountability and responsibility. Accountability, okay, Romy, her actions. Okay, she is not going to suffer any repercussions for her behavior in this movie. The things that she did. Okay, all the times that she lied to him, all the times that she snuck around. All the secrets that she kept, okay? Even before the affair started, she never told her husband that she was into kinky shit, She's been faking her orgasms ever since they got married. Okay, she never told her husband that she was a piece of shit. Okay, that she liked to be dominated. Okay, and she never told her husband until recently that she's been faking her orgasms with him the entire time they've been together. Okay, she never told him that stuff. If you're in a fucking marriage, you're supposed to know that shit. You're supposed to know what turns each other on. Okay, so she's not getting punished for any of that stuff. Okay. Also, she avoids responsibility, okay? At no point did she try to fix her fucking marriage. She never tried to fix her marriage. As soon as another fucking a big dick stud showed up, she jumped on that. She jumped on that. Okay? So how is this someone who made a fucking mistake? This is someone who never even tried to do the right thing to begin with. Okay, so why the fuck makes you think that now, because she says she's sorry, she's gonna start doing the right thing? She can't be fucking trusted. Okay? Lying to her husband. Okay? She's been doing that since way the fuck before Samuel ever fucking showed up in the picture. It's not something that was new to her. You see what I mean? So why the fuck would you want to try to mend a relationship with someone like that? Someone who has never been honest with you throughout the entire fucking marriage. You see what I mean? So therefore she suffers no accountability. Okay? Thereby she is absolved. Oh, I officially said I'm sorry. Whoopie-doo. I guess that's all it takes, right? Okay. Romy says, I told you that I was someone else and I got angry because you didn't know the real me. That's why. Okay, that's her excuse for telling him, you never fucking gave me an orgasm ever before in my life. I've never come with you ever. She said that earlier in the movie. Like, he was just asking her what was wrong and she fucking screamed that at him. Okay, because she was thinking about her lover, okay, and not thinking about her fucking piece of shit husband. Okay? And she never really apologized for that, okay? But now she's telling her this is why she said that, okay? Because she wasn't being her, okay? This is the Darth Vader defense, okay? The Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde defense, you could say, okay? Dr. Jekyll, in the book, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll admits in there, okay, that he is not responsible for Hyde's actions, okay? I didn't do it, Mr. Hyde did it. Therefore, it wasn't me. It's kind of like when you're drunk, oh, that's the beer talking. It's not me, that was the beer talking. Okay? That's what she's trying to pull out. She's trying to pass accountability off to some fucking phantom version of herself that wasn't real, but for some reason was in charge of her body. Get the fuck out of here. It's her. And I'm going to tell you something else about as far as Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde goes. I saw a video recently where this guy analyzed Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and he determined there was no Mr. Hyde. There was no such thing as a Mr. Hyde. Okay, because Dr. Jekyll was aware of everything that Mr. Hyde was doing. Okay? The potion that he took, okay, just basically took away his inhibitions, just like when you're doing drugs. Okay? It gave him an excuse to do all the things that he wanted to do anyway. You got to remember, the book was written in Victorian England, okay, in 1883. Okay, so men were expected to behave and look like gentlemen, and women were expected to behave and look like ladies. Okay, so you had to act proper. You had to be courteous. You had to have all these distinctions, okay, that made you a part of the upper class, okay? Okay, so you were not allowed to indulge in your lower urges, okay? You see what I mean? Okay, and so because Dr. Jekyll had repressed those parts of himself, drinking the potion allowed him to indulge in those parts of himself. Okay, and because he turned into a different looking guy, he did not have to accept responsibility for the things that the other personality did. You see what I mean? Therefore, he's not responsible. Hyde did it, not me. So Dr. Jekyll had fantasies about raping women. Okay? But he was not going to do that himself, because if he gets caught doing that, he's going to jail. He's going to lose his fortune. He's going to lose his name, his reputation, everything. But if he turns into Mr. Hyde, then he can do it. You see, he can do it without having to suffer any repercussions, because it's not him that did it. It was Hyde that did it. No, Hyde was an excuse for Dr. Jekyll to do all the things that he wanted to do anyway, but he restrained himself from doing. You see what I mean? And that's what's happening here. Okay? She's always wanted to fuck around her husband. She wanted to fuck younger guys. She wanted to get off, okay, with other people, okay? But she couldn't bring herself to do it, because that would hurt her reputation if she did or something, until finally she just decided to do it. Okay? So once she did it, it's her saying, fuck my life, fuck my marriage, fuck my company, fuck everything. I'm just going to keep fucking this guy, and I'm going to manipulate and whatever so I can keep fucking this guy who treats me like fucking shit, because that's what gets me fucking wet. That's what makes me come. Okay? She put her orgasm above everything else in her life. Okay? And now she's trying to say that wasn't me. That was someone else. Okay, so therefore, the me that's right here is not the person that did those things. Okay, bull fucking shit. Okay, she's been lying to you since the beginning. What the fuck? What reason would she have to tell you the truth now? Okay, you see what I mean? She's trying to get off. She's trying to get her life back. Okay, because she was at risk of losing it all. Okay, realistically, she would have lost it all. Think about it, ladies. Okay, guys that are watching this right now, you've seen this fucking movie, right? Would you have taken her back? Fuck no, you would not have. You know goddamn well you would not have. You know goddamn well you would not have, okay? Just like I would not have, all right? Well, this is what women do. Whenever they fucking cheat on their husbands, okay, with someone else, a guy who's, who's better looking, more cultured, bigger dick, better in bed, more romantic, more charismatic, younger, taller, ripped abs, square jaw, whatever. Whenever they fucking leave their husbands for a guy like that, they end up getting left behind. Okay, and once they get left behind, they start realizing what's out there. Okay, and then they start thinking, "Oh my God, you know what? I didn't have it so bad before. I thought I was worth more than my husband because I was with this guy who's better than my husband. But now these women who are better than me, he picked them over me. Now I'm fucking stuck alone, and I can't get a guy like that anymore. Okay, and now like my husband wasn't that bad. Now that I think about it." So I'm going to go back to him and tell him I'm sorry, it was a mistake, and and I'll never do it again. I learned my lesson and all that kind of bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. You really think we're going to fucking take you back? Okay, only a low value man would take a woman back like that. Okay? Only a low value man. You see, so like what the fuck? No. Any man with self-respect would not take her back because she can't be trusted, like I said. Okay, so she tells him, you didn't know who I really was. Okay. Oh, well, you know what? I think he knows who you really are now. Okay. I think everybody that watched this movie knows who you really are now, Romy. Okay. So, no, that's the problem, Romy, is he knows who you really are. Okay, that's the problem. I know who you really are. Okay. And this ain't it. All right. Okay, what do you call it? So that's going on here, okay. She's like, I'm so sorry. This time I really mean it. This time I'm not just pulling your leg, okay? It's my problem. It's not your problem. It's my problem, okay? My problem is you don't make me come, so I gotta fuck someone else. But it's my problem. I own it. I'm owning it. No, it's not your problem, Romy. It's not just your problem. You know why? Because your problem is now his problem. What the fuck? Your problem about kinky sex, okay, is now his problem. Jennifer, don't you fucking get that? This isn't just about you anymore. Okay? You didn't just hurt yourself. You see what I mean? That's the part this movie doesn't want to acknowledge. Just because you have a problem doesn't mean it doesn't become someone else's problem. If I were to have a drinking problem and I get into a fucking accident, okay, and I hurt somebody, guess what? My problem became their problem too. You see what I mean? Okay. So what happens? Okay, I guess she's forgiven now because the scene cuts right there. Okay, Antonio Banderas Jacob is a limp dick soy boy cuck. Okay, of course he's going to forgive her. He's not going to hold any animosity towards her. He's going to let her back into the bedroom, which is disgusting. I mean, she was cheating on him with a guy that likes to fuck other guys. Okay, she's probably full of AIDS. Okay, but of course now she's going to pass it on to him. Okay. Once again, no accountability. And in fact, Antonio Banderas doesn't even say anything in the scene. It's a brief scene. Okay. It's supposed to imply that she's groveling towards her husband to get him back. Okay. But that's not gonna work. Okay, because groveling to someone after what you've done, okay, you've just shown that you think you're above him. Okay, he's not good enough for you. You deserve better. And now you're telling him, I do deserve you. I was wrong to think I deserved better than you. I was wrong to think that, I was entitled to much more than what I already had. Okay, I was wrong to do that. Therefore, I should be forgiving. No. No. Okay? Because once a guy understands that about a woman, that she's capable of thinking that he's beneath her, he's never going to get that back. You see what I mean? Taking her back is not going to change the fact of what she did. Okay? And this movie's not going to acknowledge that. Okay? There's not just repercussions for her, which she should have, but she's not going to. There should be repercussions for him as well. Okay? How the hell you as a man, okay? Just think about it, guys out there who are watching this, all right? Maybe you're sitting with your wife right now or your girlfriend or whatever, okay? Just think about that for a second. Your girlfriend, your wife cheats on you, fucks another guy, been doing it for a while, behind your back, lying to you about it the whole fucking time. Oh, we're just friends. Oh, no, I don't know that guy, blah, blah. And then you find out about it. Well, guess what? That relationship implodes, and now she wants you back. Now she's sorry. Okay, now she realizes that she made a mistake and that you're the one that she loved the whole time. You know, and she let herself forget that, okay? And she was wrong for doing that, and she's sorry, and she'll never do it again, and she wants to make it up to you, and all that kind of bullshit that women say, okay? When they realize they can't get high-value men anymore, okay? How are you as a man going to be intimate with her again? The first thing you're going to think about is her fucking the other guy. That's the first thing you're going to think about, okay? It's the first thing I would think about. All the times that she told you she was going to go hang out with her girlfriends when she was really fucking the other guy. Okay? While you were at home with the kid or something, right? All the times that, you know, she said she was going to her parents' house with her girlfriends when she went to fucking, to goddamn Miami with this guy. And they got a hotel room that whole weekend. Okay? You know, things like that. Okay? When you FaceTime each other. And she was at her fucking dad's house in Virginia when she was really in a fucking hotel in Miami. Okay, telling you, oh, dad's feeling better now. He should be better by tomorrow. I'm going to fly back tomorrow night. You know, everything's good. I love you, sweetheart. She turns it off and then she goes back to fucking her big dick stud. Okay? All the times that she did that stuff. That's what you're going to think about the next time you're laying in bed next to her. Okay? That's what you're going to think about. Okay? And this movie doesn't even go there. It doesn't even go there. There's a reason guys don't get married. Okay? So, yeah, so I guess she's forgiven and all that kind of shit. I'll get to that in the next video, okay, because I'm getting worked up here. Okay, thank you very much for watching this long. I will see you soon on the next video. Bye.